And you know, there's activities for kids and families. One of the reasons that so many people and even businesses are moving here to Zephyrhills. It's growing and rapidly.
I'd like to bring up something that's on my mind, and maybe if you want to comment, it'll be up to you, but I'm concerned about our CRA. I'm concerned about the meetings. I'm concerned about the work produced, the accountability. In the last 6 months, we should have had 6 meetings. 3 of them were canceled. I look at it this way. What if we as council missed every other meeting? I'm very concerned about that. I'm concerned for the fact that, well, the last meeting that we had of CRA was supposed to be after 2 months, and we had 3 articles, and one of them was to say we're making progress with a small park over here. In our meetings, I never see any minutes. We approve minutes, but I never see any minutes. So at this particular time, I want you to know that I'm concerned, and I would hope that it could be corrected. I hope accountability could come in, but for 2 months to have 3 things on the agenda, and one of them we've already been approved 6 months ago, you might say. I don't know if I'm making any sense or not. I'm just worried about the accountability and CRA following through and doing their job.
Any other comments? Okay.
And I will say I know the wheels move very slowly sometimes, but I think we need to put a little more impetus on getting projects done. And this isn't CRA, I'm saying overall, and I know it's tough though. I do understand there's process, but I mean, and I think we work a lot faster than some, but it would be great to see a little more progress on the Hercules Park, because it has been a while. It really has. Right.
Yeah, and if I may, I agree with Councilman Knight. We do need some definite accountability in any department, but I'm glad you brought it up, because I was certain things have concerned me as well. I mean, nothing major, but definitely we do need some accountability on where everything's going and timeframes on things getting done, like Councilman Smith said. I mean, Hercules Park should have been done years ago, but we're still dealing with it. But anyway, that's all I have to say about it.
Mr. Poe?
Yeah, I can speak specifically to Hercules Park. That has been, the architect's been hired on or contracted with. The contractor's been contracted with. I believe there was a kickoff meeting. Yeah, I'll let Shane. Shane's the project manager on that, but so it is moving. It's just, maybe not as fast as what we were hoping for.
Good evening, Shane LeBlanc, Public Works Director. Just a quick update on Hercules Park that I'm working with the CRA and city manager on that as a project manager. We had a project kickoff meeting August 15th where we met the design team and the contractor. We had our kickoff meeting here at City Hall, and then we went out to Hercules and actually did a walkthrough of the site, and it was real productive meeting, but like Councilman Smith said, things move a little slow, but they are moving, but they're just moving a little slow. But it is in the works, and I think we got a good design team and a good contractor, and I think you'll be pleased at the final product.
Mr. LeBlanc,
I have here with me now City Council President Jody Wilkerson.
what's the budget of your department roughly?
Of my entire department?
Of Public Works?
Well, boy, you cut me off. I'm going to say 7-8 million.
Okay.
I couldn't tell you off the top of my head.
Right.
I have to look at that.
And what about utilities? Can you help us with that, Mr. Poe? I reckon another $7 or $8 million, right?
Utilities altogether? No, it's probably more than that. It's probably 30 million.
Good morning.
Let me talk a little bit about the rapid growth. I'm sure the city is excited about that, but you still want to maintain that small town feel. How are you doing that? I'm sure it's a challenge.
Okay. And what's the budget of the CRA?
Too many numbers up off my head.
Less than $1 million, probably. The CRA is a special taxing district that allows us to take the money from that district and reinvest it back in the community. And how many projects do you have going on at any given time?
Right now, I have an abundance of projects going on.
100? Yeah, maybe.
I know, I've probably got maybe 7 projects going on right now.
Big projects, right? Yeah. And then utilities has, I know, at least 3 or 4 big projects going on. So I think the point we're making here is that there is, I think when we look at the CRA is in a small district. It's like a microcosm of our city. And we even offer one-time grants to new homeowners in the historic district. So young people, young families, and people who want to live in our historic district can come and buy a house, a beautiful historic home, for a fraction of what they'd spend in Seminole Heights. The budget for that department is very small in comparison to the other departments.
Fantastic.
They can load up their children in a trailer and haul them down to the downtown district, and we'll have a parade. And I think that we hear a lot about the bigger projects that Public Works and utilities are managing. Certainly, we look at the millions of dollars spent on the tennis center. That got a lot of attention and was very complicated. I mean, these are complicated projects. The projects we take on in the CRA, I think it's important to note that they're pretty simple, straightforward projects, and the budgets for the projects aren't as large as they are for some of these big infrastructure projects.
We've got lots of projects going on. We've got a dedicated staff and volunteers here that work with merchants and property owners through design assistance, public events, social media promotion, as well as public art.
But I do know this, and that is that the purpose of a CRA is to restore and invigorate a dying downtown.
We can get our children in the stroller, head downtown, and see what we have.
Get people in those businesses. That is the main purpose.
Which is a constant uphill battle for most U.S. cities. And I think the other important thing is to note that our CRA, our Main Street is an award-winning Main Street, and our CRA has very high marks from the state. When you look at the pressure from the state government, for example, to limit and control CRAs, it's often because they've been poorly managed and poorly funded. But our CRA isn't that way. I think it's a good example of what a good CRA will do. So while I agree that we need to have accountability and we might need to have some more meetings, I personally don't feel like we need to have meetings if we don't have business at hand. If we don't have an update on a project with some meat, and we don't have grant funding set forth for us to discuss, or maybe there's something important in the Historic Preservation Board and that Audrey would like to talk to us about. I think that I'm not opposed to less meetings personally, but that's just my point of view too. Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you.
The projects that are going on, I'm not referring to the projects. I'm referring to the accountability of the manager of CRA to miss every other meeting that we're supposed to, even if she just came and caught up on something. But I'm just a little concerned that we have appointed her and then every other meeting is missed. That kind of bothers me. I don't care how big we are, how small we are. I don't care if projects here, projects there. There should be an accountability at least once a month to stand in front of us. And if she repeats the same thing, so be it. But that has to take place for her to have the accountability in my eyes.
Do we ask that of any other department director, though? Do we require Nathan Coleman to come up and give us an update on the airport when we don't have anything going on there? I just want to make sure that we're being fair to all concerned. So.
Yeah, I think we can have, I mean, the way we're set up is to have a CRA meeting each month. There was nothing, there was not a worthy update for this meeting. Miss Hamilton is on vacation, so I canceled this one. The other ones I'll have to go back and look at. But by our charter, we're supposed to have a meeting, a CRA meeting every month. We can do that. That's not a problem.
This doesn't have to be her, it could be you, right?
Yeah,
You
yes.
could give us
I
the
could have
update.
given the update tonight. I chose not to.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Is there any further discussion on this matter? Are there any other comments or questions for the group? Seeing none, meeting adjourned.
It'll kind of get more involved in helping a lot of the local downtown. Thanks, bud. All right, buddy. Good to see you.